Hi, it's Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot with this week's Learn Lenormand with me, and today's card we're going to be looking at the Whip. So this is a card of arguments, strife, sexual tension and general upset. It will lead to divorce and separations and can be quite a violent card. So whenever this card turns up, next to it will add a negative vibe to it. So if it's the fish, then there'll be money troubles, coffin, a health scare. Birds, there'll be gossip about you and things of that nature. So you really need to pay attention to what cards are actually surrounding this card. As a person, these type of people are loud and overbearing with a distinctive voice. They can be very attractive and seductive, and they know it, and will use those attributes to their advantage, I should say. They understand their sexual power. They are often well endowed if they are a male. Female, they'll be well endowed up here. They can also be an addict or violent. They can become stalkers and a danger to other people. On a positive note, the Whip can refer to athletes, active personalities and competitive people. So it's not always a bad thing, but it really depends on what the cards are around it. But it's not a nice card in of itself. So as I'm going to do from now on, we're going to put this into a 9 square spread. And what I've done is I've picked cards so you can actually get a good idea of what they may mean. So as you know, the Whip is the focus card. So the central card is always the focus card. So it's the focus of the actual spread. All right. So if you're wanting to do a spread and find out about your love life or something like that, well, then you would choose the male or the female card, depending on your orientation, and then do a spread focused on that. But focus on the card, so if you're doing it, you can even just use the love. So if you haven't got anybody in particular in mind, you can use the heart, but then you'll have to put your intent to it on what you're asking about. So don't just say, like, will I ever find love? You might want to say, what can I do to enhance my chances of meeting something, and then go from there. So looking to the past, already you can see we've got a male there, we've got an owl, and we've got the road. So this could imply that on your travels that you actually met somebody, and the owl sometimes can represent butterflies in the stomach. So this person in the past that you met on a trip, and even on a trip, I'm talking about, it doesn't have to be like a holiday or something. It could have been just a trip to fill up the petrol, and there was a guy there, your eyes met, and gave butterflies in your stomach. So, think about things not just like, a worldwide trip or something like that. Something quite innocent, supermarket, petrol station, whatever. Okay, being the road, I would say, it could be it would be like a petrol station or a car park or something like that. Okay. Then in the present, we've got the tower, the Whip, and the bear. So this can actually, when the tower comes next to the male, even though we're not reading the across ones now, it can mean someone who is tall and thin. As we're reading it down, we've got the Whip and we've got the bear as well. Now, the tower can also represent someone in your past. So it could be somebody who was physically overbearing and big in your past that's stirring up some shit again, that's causing you some trouble, because this is the present column. So, this is what's happening right now. This is the present. So there could be someone in your past. The tower can often represent people who are older than you as well. The bear is usually quite a physically a muscly type man, but because we've got the tower there, he's got both. He's tall and he's muscular as well. When we're looking at the future, we have got the book, we've got the lily and the garden. Now, the lily in the garden can actually mean a job offer, but because the book is there, we don't know about it yet. But there's something also happening, could mean there's something happening in your social circles that you're unaware of again. And the lily can be an authority figure as well. When it comes up next to the bear, although it's not really on the bear, it's diagonal to it, what we call like a knighting type of position, which I'll explain further on into the series. It can mean someone like a policeman or something like that. And because the Whip is there, this is somebody who abuses their power, okay? So we all know about people in authority who abuse their power. So that's another thing to look for though. So even though you read it, straight down across and diagonal, you can read it that way. It's called knighting. You can read it. It's just like how a knight moves in a chess piece. You can read it like that as well. But like I said, I'll get into that further on down the track. So now we're going to read the top row. And of course, you've got the man, the tower, and the book. So this can actually, when the book turns up, it's always the book of unknown. It's something that you don't know about. So here it's implying that there is something about an older man that you don't know something about. It could mean that you haven't met this man, but I'm presuming that you have. If you have met this man, there's something in his past that he's not telling you. All right? So there's something in the past that he's not telling you about. When you look at what's on your mind, you've got the owl, the whip, and the lily. So again, now the lily can sometimes refer and does refer sometimes to an older female. So there could be somebody, a female who is older, that is causing some problems for you, causing some sort of type of tension. Now, if it's the same sex relationship, it could be an ex-partner or something like that, or your own partner that's causing some type of tension. When we've got the bottom row, which is kind of what you've got under control, we've got the road, and we've got the bear, and we've got the garden. Again, the garden and the bear can represent work. So that could mean that you may go on a work trip, or that socially your horizons or career-wise, they're going to expand. But always, usually when the road's there is some type of a trip, and because the garden's there, I'm thinking it's to do more for your social network. So this bear, it could even, again, it's hinting to the fact that you met them in a social type of situation. So you could have met them at a party, you could have met them just filling up some petrol. There's different ways to look about it. When you're looking at the diagonal ones, we've got the man, the whip, and the garden. So this can imply that somebody at work is really giving you the shits. They're really, really stirring up problems. Now, it could be a boss. It could be just another co-worker who likes to cause up trouble. But, there really is, there's just something not quite right about them. So, be wary about it. And then when you're looking at the other side, you've got the book, the whip, and the road. So there are some troubles that are coming that you're not aware of yet. And because the road is there, it can imply that you're going to literally hit the road and get away from him, to just go, jump in the car and go. So if you're thinking about if this had been, say, an abusive relationship, when you look at these cards, it can suggest leaving work, because you've got the garden next to the bear and the road. So it could be actually leaving your job to get away from this overbearing personality. It might give you some unwanted attention, a bit touchy-feely, that sort of thing. So you decide to hit the road and go and never look back. If it's an abusive, because, don't forget we've got the tower, the whip, and the bear in the present, so it could be someone from your past who was abusive that's going to come back somehow into your future. And if you look at the book, the lily, and the garden, if you get offered a job, you accept it, and then lo and behold, your ex-partner is working there and you didn't even know. Someone that you had trouble with in the past is actually at that new position, and that could hint as to why you decide to leave it. Even though it's a great job, you just can't work with this person because he's a horrible person. So these are the ways, how to looking at the whip. So even when you're looking at the past, at first this person gave you butterflies in your stomach, but the butterflies can also represent, I know somebody who said to me that when they moved in with their partner, it didn't feel right. They were very nervous and had a very fluttery type of stomach feeling in there. And I said to them, that was your intuition telling you back there that you shouldn't have taken that step. So butterflies can mean either a good or a bad thing as well. It could be a good, literally they set your heart racing, or literally they make you nervous for some reason and you don't know until you get to know them further on. So the whip is a very insidious type of a card. You have to really look very carefully at what it is telling you. You truly do, because we've also got, don't forget, we've got the authority figure who likes to use that to their advantage, not caring how they upset people and things of that nature. So be careful when the whip turns up, particularly when it's next to a person card, as it's come up with the male figure there. Just look very carefully to what it's pointing at and where some strife might come up into your life. Okay, so that's it for this week, and I shall see you all in the next video. And of course, if you've got questions, or you even got a question that you would like me to ask, because the next card is going to be the, oh my gosh, what's after the whip? I can't remember. What is after the whip? Hang on, I'm going to pause it. I can't believe I forgot that. It's actually the birds, and the bird is right next to it. So that's going to be the next card, because I'm doing them all in order. And you think after all these years of reading it that I would know the order, but I'm just I'm not that organised, hey. So if you've got a question, and remember the birds is all about nerves, and it can be a harbinger of not such good things or whatever. There's something that you're worried about, then just put the question that you'd like me to ask, and I'll focus that on the next week's Learn Lenormand with me. All right then, take care everyone.